You're now watching Lena Blue TV.
For the money.
I done probably ran up 100 bands, done coronavirus. Who is this man? I don't know this man. I don't owe nobody. They just broke, they need advances. This ain't that, I don't know nobody.
I am Lena Blue of Lena Blue TV, and today we have Cliche of West Orlando. How you doing?
Yo, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for coming, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You not too long ago debuted it.
Right.
Considering the work that you've put in already, you literally grabbed this music thing by the balls.
Right.
I truly admire your work ethic, collaborating with blogs, creators, and studios such as the beautiful Studio 18.
Home.
Did you even imagine yourself here?
In this position, at this moment, no. I didn't imagine debuting 60 days ago and having a blog interview at the start of the year. Like, I didn't plan for it to go this fast, no.
It sounds like this is something that you're supposed to be doing.
I think it's my calling. It's something I'm passionate about. And I'm already, like, real business oriented. Mm-hmm. So to do something I'm passionate about and have to push it the way I have to push it, it's like a thrill to me. So it's what I'm supposed to be doing.
You've even collaborated with producers like TNT and Rico Got That Fire on tracks My Conscience and In My Feelings.
Yeah.
Also, who shoots your videos is SBTR Films. These are considered big names. Were they everything that you expected?
Ideally, yeah. As far as my location where I record at Studio 18, it's full of creativity throughout the whole studio. So, like, there's artwork, all types of stuff. So as soon as you walk in, the energy is, like, automatic to where you get into that zone. And producers like TNT and Rico Got That Fire, they like have those melodic instruments that I'm drawn to, especially like the piano. So like if you listen to my music, you'll always hear a piano somewhere, somehow on the intro, most likely, because I love where I could let my pain out. And it's those melodic beats that allow me to do that. The producers that I work with mainly, like on a personal level, would be Stat, the greatest. He's from out in PA. He in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. I have Dior Beats. He right here in Orlando. I have Stream. He out in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Like, those are my personal producers where, like, I hit them up, like, I need this beat.
Cliche. You don't seem cliche to me. So that brings us to our first question. What you got?
King Noodles wants to know, where did you find your inspiration and your stage name? When I was like 13-ish, because I was in like 7th grade, I had an argument with somebody about the word cliche. I told them, like, you know, a lot of girls around us and in our middle school, I was like, a lot of girls are cliche. No girl is like outside of the expected for a female, like at our school and in general, honestly. So I'm like, man, eventually, like, time went by from that conversation, and I was recording, and the engineer asked me, like, so what's your stage name? What's your artist name? And I was like, Cliche. And he was like, Cliche? Like the word? I'm like, yeah, Cliche. And he was like, all right, bet.
I ain't have a choice, it was either that or get a deal thrown. Like figure out what a real ball.
When I picked that name, it's because, like, that's everything but me. And that's the one thing I don't want to be, is cliche. But that word catches attention because it's cliche, you know what I'm saying? And if I'm rapping about things that's not cliche, they're going to be like, hold on, I see what she going with. I see what she going with this. She ain't cliche at all. And that's kind of what I want to give off. Like, I ain't the average female, but I do know I'm a female. I never want to be characterized just based off my sexuality, because I'm very feminine. If, like, people that know me, they'll tell you, like, oh, don't just look at her and think, like, oh, she want to be a boy and all that. Nah, I don't. I love being a girl. Mm-hmm. I would never trade my breast for a chest, like, ever. Like, I be telling people, they automatically know, like, I'm well aware of who I am and what I am. So never get it twisted. Mm-hmm. But, like, don't take that for granted either. Yeah. So that's why I approach where I am, because men take women for granted a lot, and I don't want to be taken for granted.
That's interesting that you say that, because
I don't want to be cliche.
Yeah. See, when you say that you are a female and you are feminine, like, a lot of people won't admit that.
Right.
You know, they try to act hard and, you know, stuff like that. But,
Right.
you know, granted, sometimes you'll have people like that that'll say, you know, I'm a female, I know I'm a female, whatever. But when you say that you're feminine, what exactly do you mean?
I don't like getting my hands dirty. If I'm uncomfortable in a room, I'ma say it. Like, I'ma come off like a girl. A lot of times people like, man, you acting like a girl. And I'm like, man, I'm a girl.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a girl, and I got emotions,
Yeah.
and I got feelings. And if I feel a way about something, I'm gonna address it like a girl. I'm a girl. I'm like, but if you try me, I'm gonna rob you like a nigga. If you get me twisted, I'm gonna kill you like a nigga. So it's like, don't take that for granted. This is not cliche. This is not cliche at all.
Cliche, how ironic.
Right.
I read an article on you by Artist PR. There's a line that read, she uses hip hop and stylistic rap singing to convey powerful messages that provoke her listeners to reflect on what is happening around them. Is this done intentionally?
It is. And I never met that guy
No.
that wrote that article. When I first read that part, I was like, damn, how did he come up with this? I was like, how did he just target that? Like, how did he know my approach without ever meeting me? Like, I couldn't tell you what he looked like. I'm like, damn, that is what I do. That's exactly what I do, because I don't want to be cliche. I don't want to rap about ass and titties and all, you know, the cliche female topics. I want to open people's mind. I want to touch people's heart. I want people to really understand, like, it's people going through relatable things. And even though some artists do that, they still revert back to, but shake your ass, throw your pussy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say I'm never going to make a club song about shaking your ass, because that's the culture. But starting out, I want people to know, like, I got feelings, and I know you got feelings. So let me touch your heart. Those words was, like, perfect, 'cause I want people to think when they hear my lyrics. I want them to feel, like, I want them to have feelings.
Yeah. Who is this guy? He sounds really good.
Chris Miller.
Chris Miller.
Like, I want to go and find him.
You know his name. Like
I want to go and find him. I want to go and find him. I want to tell him, like, you really touched. Like, you made a good article off a stranger. I'm like, that's my first press release. I'm like,
yeah.
Damn, you gave me a nice debut. Like, you really hit what I want to do. And, like, one article, my first article, I'm like, yeah, that's lit. Yeah. Never met this man day in my life. Right. Think he works for TuneCore, something like that.
One thing that I admire about you is that you are appreciative.
Very.
Yes. So it's important to show gratitude. And you do that. And when you show that you are grateful, people actually want to do things for you.
That's true.
So I feel like you got it down pat in that sense.
That's true. I hope that they don't take it as a weakness, though. I hope it don't come off as I'm gullible or vulnerable, because when you're too appreciative and you're too grateful, people will use it as a weakness, because they'll think, like, you're a sympathetic person. Like, you know what I'm saying? They could push you over. They're like, oh, she always thankful about something. Those people try to hurt you when they realize you're somebody that's appreciative of nothing, of the little things that you have. They'll take those little things away from you. So I kind of learned that young. So no matter what, I stick to it.
Even though you are appreciative and you show your gratitude, I feel like you have sense enough to tell when somebody is trying to take advantage of you and apply, that defense mechanism, or, just something to counteract that.
Right.
You're
right.
So no matter what it is, I feel like you good.
Right. Don't get blinded by the light.
Hey, wow. I love that.
Just don't get blinded by the light.
A bit on your background. It sounds like you did some migrating and things didn't come easy. How did this affect the way that you move today?
As a child, I did move around a lot, especially as it pertains to location. Not most are like family, relatives and stuff like that. But me and my mom, we went through a lot. So there was never really a place to call home, even though I had homes. I wasn't homeless, but I never really had a place to call home. So all that moving around came with a lot of trauma. So the music was like my escape. It was all I had, because I'm a writer. Since the 4th grade, I used to win. I won a trophy when the FCAT rights first came out for being top 4 writer out of 198 students. So my mom, like, ever since that day, my mom like, you a damn writer. I was like 8 years old. My mom like, you know how to write a damn story. I'm like, yeah, cause I like to write stories and stuff, Mom. Like, I like stories. And like from the stories, I used to write little short stories, like little playbooks. From that, I started writing poetry, cause eventually, like, life wasn't a play story no more, and the trauma started hitting. So it's like, man, I can't write about fun stuff no more. So now I'm writing poetry, and the poetry was dark. It was painful. It was depressing. Damn near suicidal. And if it wasn't for the poetry, I probably wouldn't start rapping, because from the poetry, I got into the instruments because I played the violin. So I like the instrument. So it's like poetry went good with violins because it's slow and mellow, and then it can speed up and it can go with your like spoken word. So it turned into music eventually. And if it wasn't for all that moving around and all that migrating, I wouldn't have experienced the things I experienced. I wouldn't have seen the things I've seen. I wouldn't have felt the pain I felt or even experienced the trauma. So it's like, I'm thankful for all the moving around. I'm thankful for all the trauma. I'm thankful for all the struggle. I'm thankful for all the pain I ever felt, because without it, I wouldn't have nothing to talk about. And I wouldn't have nobody to relate to. I wouldn't be able to heal nobody, because all I could say is damn. But I done went through so much, I could talk about anything. Anything. Somebody could come to me with any problem, and I'm going to have an answer for it, because I done went through pretty much everything that a female would probably go through.
That leads us to our next question from 14 Tarzan.
He wanted to know what made me decide to start rapping and who inspires me the most.
So you kind of answered that already, but who inspires you the most?
Meek Mill. I say that because he's a lot like my first influences before his time, like Jadakiss and Fabulous. He remind me of them a lot, especially when it comes to the substance of their music, like what they're talking about. So when he came out with that Flamers mixtape, he was talking about like the street stuff. I was in that same era. But then when he got mainstream and he started talking about his trauma and his pain, I was like, oh man, this like my best friend. He's like the male version of me. I'm like, man, the day I meet him, I'm gonna tell that nigga like, yo, you know you like my twin brother. Like everything you went through, I went through too. Like, and the way people shit on you and you got a good heart and all that shit, I'm like, people do me the same way. And I still show love. I'm still grateful. I'm still all that. And like everything he portray, I feel like me too. Like that's me too. The way the media try to shit on him when he go through his shit, people do me like that. But even while he's getting shitted on, he's still out motivating the streets, doing the reform, helping other niggas get out of their situations. Right. He's still putting on for his family, moving his mom, doing all that boss stuff. So it's like, damn, that's me. Because I go through all this fucking bullshit behind the scenes, but all y'all see is what I'm doing for my peoples. But y'all don't know everything that shit coming with. And that's what he talk about a lot. So he influenced me a lot.
It's amazing what music can do. It tells people that you are not the only one, because some people may feel alone. Some people may feel they're the only ones going through this.
Facts.
Definitely a plus. In your debut album named Pieces, there are 7 tracks listed. Does that hold any significance? Kinda.
Because 7 is a lucky number. And my mom was born in 1977. I ain't gonna freak you out, but I am a spiritual person. I do believe in energy and numbers. So a lot of my projects, I do try to drop with significance on significant days and dates. So the date that it dropped was November 26th. That was supposed to be, it was supposed to drop on the 24th, which is my cousin's birthday. But due to some songs that needed mixing, I couldn't drop it till 26th. So that kind of messed it up a little bit. But I do like to stick to like a number. I play a number game. Yeah, I do. And it goes with the energy. It's like an energy thing. And like people in my family, they're significant to me. They mean a lot to me. So it's either I'm gonna drop something on a traumatic day, or I'm gonna drop something on somebody's birthday, or I do keep up with a lot of like my first this and my first that. So I do know the dates of things. So I'll drop it on significant dates. Just to play with the numbers. It's a me thing.
Personally, I feel like it's important to pay attention to those things. The reason something happens, when something happens, time, numbers, all of that stuff.
Hell
and
yeah.
I feel like those little things send us messages.
Hell yeah.
You know? So to pay attention to that is important.
Be cautious in the way you walking. You better read the room. I just bought a stick. This bitch a long branch. It could be a broom. I hope you brought your fucking dustpan, cause it could sweep the room. I heard that boy a fucking hush man. Watch who you speaking to. Say you watching me. Well, what you learning? That ain't really hurting me. They don't make me nervous. That just get me pissed off. Why you acting like my bitch, dog? That's gonna make you get pissed off. I ain't worried about your list, dog.